Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friends, I'm very happy to be able to present the result of our group discussion here. Before we will introduce our group, we are from group 2, which consists of me, Rika Yuliana, with student ID 296 and my partner, Sirli Amriya, with student ID 304. The topic we will discuss this time is fraud in business ethics. So, let's just talk about it. Definition of fraud. According to Joel K. Siegel and J. K. Sim, that fraud cheating is a deliberate act by individual or entity to deceive others which cause harm. In particular, there is a misrepresentation to undermine, or with the intention of withholding material data necessary for the implementation of the previous decision. So, fraud is an action that is done intentionally and carried out for personal goal or a group goal, where the intentional action has caused harm to certain parties or certain institutions. Fraud itself can be interpreted with various meanings contained therein, such as fraud, lies, fraud, crime, embezzlement of goods, manipulation of data, information engineering, changing public opinion by distorting exciting facts and intentionally eliminating evidence. And then, relationship between business ethics and fraud. There is a close relationship between business ethics and fraud. That all fraudulent action can be categorized as ethical violation. From the above definition, we can understand that fraud is a form of intentional crime, either directly or indirectly. In the other hand, fraud risk is the risk experienced by a company or institution due to occurrence of fraud or intentional fraud, both material and non-material loss, where material loss are measured in the term of financial value with reference to the currency used, rupiah, dollar, ringgit, yen, euro, and other, and non-material loss relate to loss of a non-financial nature, such as decreased public confidence in the company. Fraud from in principle cheating has many forms. Fraud development is in line with the increasing number of life activities that the fraudulent action have penetrated various sectors, both private sector and within the scope of government activities. To prevent fraud, the best way is to understand what and how the forms of fraud are. Okay, and the next presentation will deliver by Sirli Amriya. Sirli, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you Rika. Without further ado, let's just continue the discussion. Sukrishna Agus said that mistakes and fraud can occur in various forms, namely A. Intentional error. Mistakes can be intentional with the aim of benefiting oneself in the form of window dressing, manipulating financial statements to look better so that it is easier to get credit from the bank, and check-kiting. Bank account balances are displayed large so that current ratios look better. B. Unintentional error. Fraud that occurs unintentionally or human error. For example, the wrong number or application of wrong accounting standards due to ignorance. Collusion. Fraud committed by more than one person by cooperating with the aim of benefiting these people, usually harming the company of third parties. For example, in a company there is collusion between the purchasing department, warehouse department, finance department, and suppliers in purchasing materials or goods. Collusion is a form of fraud that is difficult to detect, even though the company's internal control is quite good. One of the most widely used prevention methods is the prohibition of employees who have family relationship, husband and wife, brothers and sisters, to work in the same company. Intentional misrepresentation, giving advice that something is right when it is wrong by someone who knows that it is wrong. Negligent misrepresentation, a statement that something is wrong by someone who doesn't have a solid basis for stating that is true. False promises, a promise that is given without the desire to fulfill that promise. Employee fraud. Fraud the employees to benefit themselves. We see this a lot in our daily lives, from office boys playing with food receipts to employees who include personal expenses for their families as company expenses. Fraud management. Fraud committed by management to the detriment of other parties, including the government. For example, tax manipulation, bank credit manipulation, contractors who use cost-plus fees. Organized crime. Organized crime, for example, credit card fraud, delivery of goods more or less than it should be, in which the executor will get a 10% share. Computer crime, a crime by utilizing computer technology so that the perpetrator can transfer funds from someone else's account to his own account. White-collar crime, crimes committed by people with ties, upper class, such as the land mafia, subtly coercion to merge, and so on. These three factors are described in the fraud triangle. First, opportunity. Opportunity usually arises as a result of weak internal control in the organization. The opening of this opportunity can also tempt individuals or groups who previously had no motive to commit fraud. Pressure or motivation on a person or individual will make them look for opportunities to commit fraud. Some examples of pressure can arise due to personal financial problems, bad traits such as the appearance of an extravagant attitude by frequently shopping for luxury goods, frequenting discotheques, gambling involved drug, and uncomfortable factor in the family such as feeling always pressures. Rationalization occurs because someone looking for justification for their activities that contain fraud believes or feels that their actions are not fraud but are something that is indeed their right. Sometimes the preparation even feel that they have been instrumental because they have done a lot for the organization. Factors that drive humans to cheat. Fraud can be committed by employees, management, suppliers, customers. Examples of direct fraud by employees include taking cash, company supplies and equipment, and fraud involving third parties such as bribes or kickback or bribe. Fraud committed by customers, for example, not paying for goods and bank breaks-ins and other. Why do people cheat? Factors causing fraud may be due to financial pressure, mental illness, or pressure due to workload. Conclusion. In general, fraud is a general and broad term and includes all forms of cunning or human deception which are forced by one person to gain an advantage over another by providing false and manipulated information. There are no provision and requirement to unify the definition of fraud itself. Fraud also contains the meaning of surprise, deceit, cunning, and unauthorized methods against the cheated party. The definition of fraud is everything related to human dishonesty.
Okay, this is the end of our discussion. We apologize if there are mistakes in pronunciation or breathing. Thank you for listening and watching from start to finish. See you at another time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.